about my beard.
Talking about beards, huh?
I think we've talked about beards way too much today.
The
podcast this morning.
Yeah,
Brandon's obsessed with beard.
I caught that this morning too. That was pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, manscaping, dude. Did you put that up?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't got to it yet. We've had a busy and hectic Monday. Yeah. So we're live now.
We are live. We are up and running, and we'll get the live chat going in a second. We'll let some people filter in, and we'll just chit chat for a couple minutes while people filter in. So the podcast, that was fun this morning. That's my second. I didn't catch the first two. I've been catching them on YouTube while you guys doing them, and lots of fun. You know what I mean?
Man, we just thought it'd be, just something fun that we could do if people wanted to listen in. Much like probably your YouTube channel. Like, hey, let's put this out there, and if people want to listen, good. If not, who cares, right? So it kind of humanizing us as far as the guys behind BattlBox. I know, especially me. Everybody kind of feels comfortable around this guy or whatever, but because he's just so freaking strange.
It's like cuddly.
No.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I wouldn't know.
They'll tell you that.
But it gives us a chance to just talk about things outside of BattlBox, like stepping outside of like survival tactical gear, right? And so we can always make an attempt to try to bring it back full circle to that, like we did today. But ultimately, like for me, being my job to kind of continue to grow the business, of course, like I'm really hoping that it picks up and enough people start talking about it and watching it, and hopefully it's funny enough for whatever reason to potentially reach a different audience than what we've already been reaching. I mean, I feel like we've exhausted a lot of avenues from a marketing perspective, and we certainly appreciate people like yourself, right, Chris? That I mean, we can't reach as many people as we could potentially reach without our social influencers like y'all. And so we certainly appreciate everything that you guys do. I hope that comes across. I get a lot of emails and a lot of messages every day, and it's hard for me to respond to everybody. And I feel like sometimes that comes off as being dickheaded, but it's just, I don't think anybody really understands the magnitude of tens of thousands of customers that
it's a 15-hour-a-day job.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I'm fine with that.
Wide open all day long, and it's we try to get to everybody as we can.
Yeah, I love working, man, and I love working for the customers, especially, and then trying to find my time in there, of course, is hard. But man, I'm here. We're devoted. We're all in. This is what we do all day, every day, and
it's fun. It's work. Fun. It's work, but it's fun.
And when we're not,
I'm working right now.
When we're not here in the office, and we're using Brandon's office because it's a familiar setting, I guess. My office is a wreck, and like you had mentioned a minute ago, we're building our new office, which I hope will be ready within the next 2 months. They finally finished with the building today, and we're going to start framing this week, which is great. Makes progress is good,
right?
And so Brandon will tell you, man. I mean, it's just having a place, the office that we have right now, to give you a backstory or whatever on the guy that kind of created BattlBox. And Chris, hop in anytime if you want. If I'm steamrolling,
yeah. Let me just hop in really quick and say, it was a surprise to me to be joined by Mr. Currin1776, Brandon. Thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate it. If anybody doesn't realize who we're talking to, these are the two guys that are with BattlBox. You got Dan, and Dan is the founder, CEO of BattlBox. We call him Battle Dan, and then we have Brandon Currin. So two well-bearded men, and what we're gonna do today is just.
I'm glad to get that accolade. That's an accomplishment.
He's been working on it.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah. I was born like this.
Somebody sent me a message via Facebook, and they were saying, you know, it would be funny. They didn't know how this live stream was going to go. They thought BattleDan was going to be in the room with me like Gray Fox was a couple weeks ago or last week. Maybe and I said, no, it's the power of the internet. You know, we're going to stream. And then he said, it'd be funny if, like, we had a little conversation, and he said it'd be funny if Brandon showed up and was there with you too, and you know, it would be like a battle of the beards, you know. I think you got me beat right now, Brandon. I don't know.
That's right.
You got some length on me.
Yeah, I mean, side profile. I don't know how well that went, but I haven't measured it like Steve has. I guess that hasn't been an important.
We talked about Steve's yardstick.
Yeah, yardstick the other day.
He's a damn fool, man. Out of the 4 podcasts we've done thus far, episode 2, which was our introduction of Steve, I guess live, or on the podcast, that's had the most downloads so far, or whatever. So
everybody loves Steve.
Yeah, Steve's a hoot, man. Like I said in the episode 1, if you hadn't caught it or whatever, he doesn't like to be referred to it on air apparently, but he's our resident gigolo. He's single and ready to mingle, man. So
that's funny. So hey, before we jump in too far, we have some questions from people on the forum. One of the questions was, what's the most annoying question you guys get? Is it, what's my first box? Or when is my box shipping? Why are you guys so mean to me?
Is that a question? Why are you so mean?
Which one of those questions was is like the most received that you guys get?
I would definitely say, like, somewhere in the range of, hey, I ordered my box 2 weeks ago and it still hadn't showed up yet. WTF kind of deal, you know? And it's like, that's a constant battle, you know, sending you've seen it, of course, like www.battlebox.com/FAQ, like, do a little reading, man, or watch a video, like everybody explains it. It's 2 years strong, you know. It does get irritating times, but it's fine. You know, sometimes we try to kind of joke around about it, you know, and we'll make posts along the lines of like, hey dude, you know, it works kind of like Playboy, you know, you get it, you know, once a month and it's, you know, and it's going to show up or whatever. But some people don't take that as well as we, you know, that's also kind of, I guess, the downfall of like texting and the internet, you know, is you kind of lose sometimes what was supposed to be humorous and people take it in a butthurt fashion.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, dude, it totally was just supposed to be comical.
I didn't mean it the way you blew it up to be.
Yeah.
You know?
So I guess, you know, that's another reason to kind of vent.
Sarcasm sucks.
Yeah.
When it comes to texting or responding via
you can't portray
writing
it
or texting or whatever.
Very
People
well.
could not take sarcasm when they read it.
So another reason for the podcast to kind of humanize us and show like what our personality really is like, instead of, you know, the man behind the mask, I guess, as opposed to, you know, an edited YouTube video and, you know, just kind of this emails and text messages, you know, and stuff like that. It's, you know, it's kind of fun.
The podcast, everybody wants to know, did you get Steve and AR today or not?
You know, we got busy as soon as we got off. We had a lot of stuff in the office to go do, and so it is
a goal of mine this week to get them in the store.
Do you think he was serious?
I think
he sounded serious.
He sounded serious. So
I don't know if that was play on his part for the show.
Steve's
the cheapest MFer on the planet.
He's the guy that, like, at lunch he takes what everybody hasn't eaten, and that's his dinner for the night
every time.
Breakfast for the next morning. I mean, it's like, hey man, you gonna eat that? And you're like, well, no. Can I have it?
We'll go to Chick-fil-A and we're like walking out and he's like, hang on, man, I'm running out of mayonnaise at the house. I got to get a couple extra packets.
He probably hasn't bought ketchup, mustard, or mayonnaise or jelly in years.
I know he's
all getting it from condiments from restaurants.
You know, I knew a guy that used to go to like fancy restaurants, like a sushi place or something like that, and he'd bring his own Coke in, like his own can.
Yeah, you see people like pull out, you know.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. Steve would
he's a cheap guy, but
he's my buddy. Yeah.
I'm going to get him in a gun store this week and see if he's for real.
Steve,
I mean, just to get back to the question.
When Steve first started working for me, he lit up like a Christmas tree when one day he was back there. You know, he was typing this thing out. Or whatever. I was having a shitty day, you know, and I said, Steve, I'm ready to go down the street. Let's go look at some guns at, you know, our local place called TC Outdoors. He's like, really? That's awesome. Like right now in the middle of the workday? I'm like, yeah, dude, like right now, let's go. And he's like, you're the best boss ever. You know, you know, we kind of, it's cool to be able to just kind of do whatever. There's no like real, I mean, obviously we all have a job to do that's very important, but it's like, you know, it's casual, man. I mean, we can kind of screw around. We're able to talk to, you know, real people like you and communicate with our members in a fashion that's like a little bit outside of, you know, going back to the butt hurt thing. You know, I mean, I hate to keep kind of bringing that back because we're certainly all about positivity, right? But when the people that are not familiar with us get kind of bent out of shape because of a response, well, you know, why have I not been responded to? It's been 24 hours. It's because Steve like was off Saturday instead of around the clock, and that's something that is important to me. Like, this is not Walmart. This is not Amazon. This, you know, we don't have 24/7 customer support because we have lives, and BattlBox is certainly important to us. But being, you know, just family men and members of the community, pillars of the community, and having that time off is important because we do work 15, you know, I work easily 20-hour days on the regular. I mean, I have to stay up all hours of the night, making sure that all the wheels of this machine continue to move. And I know a lot of people on the forum actually do understand that, and they express that a lot. Like, dude, I don't know how you guys do it. It is tough. It's a tough job. You wouldn't. It's hard to believe that a short 2 years ago, you know, I started this company with like, you know, basically nothing, and you know, almost overnight it grew to something that like got ahead of me so quickly that. You know, I had to sell a company that I was working at full time, that I'd owned for about 9 years, a screen printing company, and it's been fun, you know. But it's like I said, it's still kind of hard to believe that it's happened so quickly.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, it's something you're really passionate about. You know, I can tell in how you interact with people on the forums and just some of the stuff that you say. And if anybody's unfamiliar with battleboxforum.com, y'all need to go over there and check it out. It's a really cool place to hang out. And speaking of, I have another question.
Sure.
This is from Captain Squirrel, and he was wondering if you're going to be out at PrepperCon. Anything special for forum members that are going to PrepperCon if they come to the booth? You gonna do anything like, hey, here's some swag or something like that, or anything like that?
Maybe, Chris. I mean, honestly, we hadn't really gotten to the point of figuring out what we're taking out there. All that I know is, look, like when we go to the trade shows, it has very little to do with getting subscribers, right? Like, it's hard to convert people in a place like that. I mean, people are coming to buy, you know, which is real easy to say, oh, well, you should just have some boxes there ready for them to purchase and walk home with. It's easier said than done. I mean, transporting that kind of stuff from here to Salt Lake City in massive amounts. The trade show booth is enormous as it is. It's 30 foot by 30 foot. We've made it as big as we possibly can. We're to the left of the main stage. It's kind of a special spot for us. And we've rented a bunch of couches and chairs and stuff like that, and tables, so that it's a spot where we can actually, if we do have forum members and fans come out, we can just sit around and do like this, you know, in a face-to-face fashion where we can, just kind of get to know each other, and you know, they can talk with us and ask us personal questions. I'm sure that we'll have something there that will be given away one way or the other, but if we don't, honestly, it's just a place for us to go and kind of hang out with fans. We're able to kind of, hopefully, my mission is, of course, to discover some stuff that maybe, you know, I don't even know exists, some new shit, coordinate with some future vendors that are out there. I mean, I don't know. I know a lot about the survival gear and tactical gear world, but I don't know everything. And my goal is to know everything so that I can provide all that stuff for the BattlBox people. You know, I want to be the first to know about it.
Right.
Like maybe some of the products we talked about today and in the dot kit and stuff like that. So, you know, in the future, maybe we can get those to you guys and see what your opinions are, you know.
Right. So do you get shipped stuff all the time? Like, do you constantly get stuff shipped to you from potential vendors?
Dude, I had 2 bags show up today and had no idea how they got here. Yeah, it was like $300 worth of bags. So short answer, yeah, knives and gear come all the time. That's probably one of the things that gets me excited the most when like those packages come in, you know, because it's like,
yeah,
no matter whose name is on it, like a lot of times Mickey being the procurement person, you know, helping out with that kind of stuff, a lot of times, you know, they come with her name on it, and I don't even like let her see it. I'm just like rip it into it. If it says BattlBox on it, I'm like, this is mine, you know. And I start opening the shit, and at first,
and then he calls me, hey man,
hey,
come here.
Yeah,
come look at this.
Some of it we've ordered. Most of it is gear provided from companies wanting their stuff to go in the box, which is super cool. Like, you know, that's my excitement, because I build the battle boxes every month, right? Like, you guys get excited when the battle box comes in. I get excited on, you know, on a daily basis or a weekly basis, however often I get the gear in that I'm able to kind of play with. And it's then the wheels start turning, and I'm like, I've either already got some missions down the road that I can apply those to, or I'm like, this makes a lot of sense for this particular theme, and it fills in a void that I was looking for. Or if it's super cool and it incites, you know, some sort of kind of
inspiration,
you know, inspiration for a theme, yeah, then we can start building a box around that. Yeah, get on.
So 2 quick questions. Can we, will we see an urban or a gray man box in the future?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Second question. You said in your podcast today that you were planning this box for about a year. Is that true?
Yes. Hang on one second.
How do you like being an employee of BattlBox, Brandon?
I like it a lot.
I see pictures that you post, you guys like kayaking out on some lake, and I'm like, damn, I want that job.
Sorry, my wife was texting me about something, but
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that particular box has been worked on for a year, the one that's coming out next, and you know, we want to do it the right way, right? So I kind of pumped the brakes on it. I mentioned it on the forum before, after seeing I was already working on it. You know, a competitor that you did a review on came out with one, and it really made me kind of take a step back and want to do it what I consider to be the right way. We waited on the products to be developed and come out before we created this box around it, if that makes sense. So, so man, I'm pretty proud of it. I don't think, I mean, you know, I see a lot of the negative stuff, like, oh dude, what the fuck? It's a, you know, what were they calling it?
Toiletry kit.
No,
toiletry.
Sanitation. Some people
sanitation.
think it's sanitation. Some people think it's dot kit. Some people think it's hygiene, which I guess is the same thing. you know, all of which are pretty close and on par. I mean, it's no big secret, right? Like we're pretty close at this point. But you know, it's kind of disappointing from my end to see everybody feeling disappointed about something before they've even gotten it. Like, in my opinion, regardless of what it is, both of those are still important in terms of survival, right? Like, it always kind of gets me because I'm like, certainly you saw this coming down the pipeline at some point in time. Like it would have been real easy. Like, let's back up to, like, I think mission 17, if I'm not mistaken, on the fire mission, the fire themed mission, right? Like that would have been super easy for us to do on like mission 3, and like just no creativity whatsoever. Like, we're going fire mission, it's easy to do. Like it took, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it was 14. It's hard for me to remember all of them now because
me too.
yeah, it's hard. But so, you know, to wait 17 months to come out with a specific fire theme mission in a survival gearbox, for me, I thought was like, you know, and then to receive such negative like comments about it, for me, I was like, wow, you know, like you had to know this was coming down the pipeline at some point. Like we're a survival gearbox, we haven't done it at all yet, right? So I guess I'm kind of thinking the same about this. It's like some of the themes are a little bit more in depth and more specific, some of them more broad. But that's what makes BattlBox cool, you know, is like, that's just part of the allure, right? Like you don't know what you're going to get till it comes in, and just give us a chance to do it our way, the way that I feel like only BattlBox can do justice, you know, for that particular theme correctly, right? And then if you got something negative that you dislike, you know, whether it's the wallet or whatever, like, cool, noted. We take the feedback and we apply it to the next run, and you know, we certainly do the best that we can with the money that we collect from each one of the subscribers, and we feel like we do a tremendous amount of justice with those dollars. None of it is wasted. You know, everybody here has to put food on the table, and the products cost money, right? So, and there's a metric ton of money that goes into marketing monthly. Like I don't even like to talk about how much it is, because we're constantly trying to reach new people or whatever. And due to, honestly, a lot of the, I mean, let's be honest, like BattlBox is sort of the OG in the survival gear subscription world, right? And so out of the success from that blooms, you know, these quote unquote competitors that we've, you know, had issues with and talked about, you know, but at the end of the day, they're kind of cannibalizing what I consider to be like our marketplace, right? Like, I feel like I created this space, and, you know, some people are happy with, you know, friendly competition, and we certainly have friends in the industry that are, that I communicate.
Let me jump in really quick. So being like on the consumer end, right? I think that the competition is good for me. And I'll just say that up front. Like when a competitor comes in that's on their game, is delivering on promises, which I've seen quite a few that don't deliver on their promises. You know what I mean? But when they do deliver on the promises, they have good gear at a decent value. That's good for me. It's good for everybody watching this video, because it keeps you guys from getting complacent. And that's always my like concern about BattlBox. You know, will you guys ever get complacent? You know what I mean? Or I guess we can talk about that. Like,
does it seem like it's become complacent at this point?
No, I don't.
Okay. So
I don't think so. And I you know, you two guys that I'm talking to right now, man to man, I don't think it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you guys have such passion for this that, you know, you are going to keep the bar high, and keep the bar high for your competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's always a concern. Like, you see, you know, companies that come and go left and right, especially with the way the internet is now, and people's expectations. Like, YouTube could disappear tomorrow,
right?
And something could replace it. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me. I mean, it certainly is a looming fear of mine, that and Brandon probably as well. But as the CEO, like it's a large stress on my shoulders. Every night I have to go to sleep making sure that all 30 of our employees have a job to come to tomorrow, whatever. And just like you mentioned with YouTube, it could be gone tomorrow. And BattlBox very well could do the same thing. You know, that's why it's important for me to continue to raise the bar. It's important for us to continue to get new subscribers. It's important for us to continue changing the way the subscription is looked at. I feel like it'd be tough for somebody to say that we haven't revolutionized the subscription box industry across the board.
Yeah,
like,
totally. I agree with you. Like prior to you guys, I mean, what was out there? You know, there were a few other boxes out there, but really nothing that targeted the outdoors, guys, that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud to say, like, you know, it's a personal mission of mine, like, and I'm proud to say that we were the first subscription box to ship a single man tent, or a tent at all. That wasn't a piece of Mylar, right? Like, I'm proud to say that we were the first to ship a sleeping bag. I'm proud to say we were first to ship a dual propane, you know, dual burner propane stove. Like, that's why I mentioned those things as teasers, and I continue to say things about it, is because it's like, even the people that are haters on it, I'm like, but has anybody else even thought about doing it? Like, these are the things that I feel like are up in our game or whatever.
Let me interrupt too. I'm sorry to interrupt, but man, the fact that 2 months in a row, the knives that you guys have put out have been first runs, you know what I mean, for BattlBox. I mean, this knife, I love this thing. It is awesome. I'm carrying it every freaking day. Before that, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Proof that we use it. Look how nasty it is.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't really know what that is, actually.
And then
I cut the brush off the bush hog at the farm Saturday with this.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great stuff. It's nice enough that you almost want to put it in the freaking gun safe, lock it up, you know, but effective that you just want to use it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't put the damn thing down. And then a serialized knife, potentially. I mean, it's pretty much well known, right? Yeah. Serialized knife coming up. I mean, what the hell?
Right there.
You want to see it? You want to see it?
Oh, should we do it to people?
Hell no. Are you crazy? Nah, they'd freak out. No.
That's all you get.
I think it's inside of that box.
Oh, it's in there.
Don't you wish you had like X-ray vision? See it? Actually, they're different than that. They're sexier.
Really? Damn.
Changed it at the last minute and gave it a little bit different finish than what Brandon's prototype there is. But yeah, you know, that just goes to show you, Chris, like how different people's opinions are. Like, I definitely designed, or I should say co-designed this knife with heft and a manly feel in mind, where, you know, you see a lot of people talk about how they consider it to be heavy for an EDC. You know, to each their own, man. I mean, you know, and that's, again, just why BattlBox is a subscription. Like, it's not, if this is too heavy for you, then buy something that isn't. You know, don't depend on us to do it, because our opinion is going to be very different than yours. I do feel like, however, that based on the retention that we've seen month over month for 2+ years, apparently I have a pretty good grasp, I would say, on what you, the customers, actually dig. You know, otherwise, I don't think you would stay subscribed, right? So there must be something that I'm connecting on some level with. I mean, if we're hitting like 80% of your want list, then I guess that's a pretty good metric to, you know, to keep up.
How many I don't know if you want to share this or not, it's totally up to you, but what's your subscriber count like for basic and then pro and then pro plus? We'll skip advanced. If you don't want to share it, I totally understand.
Yeah, Chris, really the only reason I don't want to share that is due to the fact of like the competition that's out there, right? Like, kind of opening ourselves up to like some potential problems there. I mean, we're not like some 100,000 subscriber business or anything like that, like
Right.
BattlBox or something. But you know, we do pretty good. I mean, you know, every subscriber counts. You know, even though I would say like I don't really make any money on basic and advanced subscribers. I think I've mentioned that publicly before or whatever. Like, it's just too hard to fit that much gear in the box for that price. You know?
Right, and I've said numerous times in my videos that I think that basic gives the best bang for your buck. I mean, there was maybe 1 or 2 months that I kind of went back on that. Just being totally honest, my point of view. But yeah, throughout the whole of BattlBox that I've been involved, basic box, I mean, $25. I mean, some of the stuff you're getting in there is just off chain. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of value you're throwing in a $25 box.
If I could go back and you know, and change, like, you know, a few things or whatever, that would probably be like having like a minimum of 4 items. I think in that basic box would probably be one of those things I would change. It's tough to do. $25 is not a lot of money. So, you know, again, on our end, when we see the complaints like month after month after month, it's like, I mean, it's called the basic box. Like, what else do you expect? Like, I'm not trying to discount it, but you know, obviously you're not going to get $130 knife for $25 a month. And some people just don't get it, man. And it is just how it rolls sometimes. But sometimes you just kind of wish that you could sit down and talk with them face to face like this, you know, and you're like, dude, come on, man. Like, you know, you're not going to get gold bars in your box for $25 a month. I wish we could do that, you know, but you know, I certainly think all levels are fair, you know, just being honest. Like, basic and advanced boxes for us are kind of, you know, we might make $1 or $2, you know, but Pro and Pro Plus is definitely where the meat's at, and definitely, you know, where we're able to, you know, afford the salaries and like I said, put food on the table for our customers. And I will tell you, yeah, our Pro Plus level is certainly our largest across the board. It's hard to beat. I mean, honestly, for what you get.
Oh, I agree. You know, there are a lot of times, like, especially this month, I think that this knife, and I was talking with Gray Fox from Sly Fox Tactical, and we both came to the opinion that this knife is actually undervalued, that Bastion probably should have put 100 and maybe 50 or higher value on this knife.
I've said 199 on this, you know, and even said that on my teaser on Instagram, because yeah, I mean, you compare this to others in that range, and you know, some of them are higher. You know, of course, if this wasn't a stainless steel handle coated in titanium, if it was real titanium, you'd be looking at probably around $500 or $600.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
So yeah, I think anything, yeah, $130, and we're still selling them on our site too every day, like several of them a day, actually, at $130 all day long. So
somebody in the forums was trying to offload it for some reason, I don't know why, and I offered him $80 cash. And if anybody's watching this that wants to offload this knife, I will give you, let's up the ante, $100 cash to get rid of this. Like, right now.
There you go.
I'll take it.
Sweet. They a guy emailed this weekend, or actually I think he posted on our Facebook page, directly to our page, so it's there, you can see it. But I don't know, man, he was saying that his was rusting like crazy. He's like, what a shitty knife. Like, it started rusting after half a day's worth of rain. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I've skinned 2 deer with this knife, like I've mentioned that, like, in the rain. I mean, I didn't go directly indoors and wipe it down. As a matter of fact, it stayed in the clubhouse all night long until somebody brought it to me, because I left it on the counter, and mine never rusted at all. So I don't know if his environment, of course, D2 steel, you know, every steel has its ups and downs, right? Like why it's good and why it's bad. D2 is, you know, and I mentioned this to the guy on the page, you know, it's super strong. It holds a great edge. There's a lot of great qualities about it. it's one of the nicer steels out there for the price. But it is going to rust if it wet. You do need to keep it. I mean, there's a reason why these things come oiled, right? Having this high, you know, I wouldn't call it a high polish shine, but a semi-polish finish on it helps to kind of protect against that in a way. But yeah, you know, when you send these knives of the month, and maybe that's one thing, Brandon, we need to work on the videos, is maybe talking about the steel that is on the knife of the month and how to maintain it and give people an idea.
I mean, I had mine
what to expect
in the rain the other day, and I didn't clean it at all, and it's not.
And who knows? Maybe he's a troll from a competitor or something. But I mean, he makes it sound like the whole knife is pitting after half a day in the rain, which is
right.
But you know, it is what it is. Hopefully, if he continues to have issues with it, we'll certainly replace it. It's not that big of a deal.
I like mine.
Yeah, I love mine. I was thinking too, and I'm assuming there's a lot of you know, forum members only on here watching. But
there's quite a few, yeah.
One thing that I'm exploring, and maybe this will get some talk going on the forum or whatever, and I'd love to see some of the feedback there, but I'm exploring the idea of a couple different things. So if it doesn't happen, don't you know, get all bent out of shape at me. Hopefully, a lot of the reasons why things aren't done is strictly back end issues with how to make it coordinate on the site without, you know, shutting the whole system down. Right? Like there's a lot of stuff we love that we would love to be able to do, but simply just isn't the click of an on or off button, right? Like there's a lot of code involved in getting it to do that. And sometimes our system is limited in that regard. So, but anyhow, one thing I'm thinking about doing for the sake of kind of taking back ownership of the knife of the month, which I coined, it's obviously been kind of ripped off in several fashions across the subscription market. But
can I get a vowel with that?
What's that? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm actually talking about several subscriptions, you know,
right.
And being, you know, I kind of like to retain ownership on things that I hold dear to my heart, and Knife of the Month Club is one of those things, right? So what I'm thinking about doing, you'll notice on our homepage on our site that a lot of anything that's referring to Knife of the Month Club is called KOTM, right? And that's strictly due to advertising policies. Facebook, YouTube, Google, all of them have extreme issues with these things right here. Don't ask me why. They call them weapons, and you know, advertising these in any shape or form gets you kind of blacklisted from being able to advertise, right? So KOTM was adopted on the homepage, and a lot of people probably don't even understand what that is. So what I'm wanting to do, I think, is without changing what Pro Plus is, not changing the products, not changing anything in there at all, keeping Pro Plus as is, dropping it necessarily from being called the Knife of the Month Club, and in essence opening up the Knife of the Month Club as a standalone blade subscription by BattlBox, right? And maybe actually creating a couple different subscriptions from that, where it's, you can sign up for the Knife of the Month Club and you're only going to get a blade, and you can get you can sign up for the fixed blade Knife of the Month Club, the folder Knife of the Month Club, and then maybe have different tiers itself within the Knife of the Month Club, ranging from.
You're blowing my mind. Dang it! Come on now. I know. Like, am I going to get the same knife as the KOTM guy?
I don't think.
Well, I mean, how would that work?
I'm thinking it would be different because the Knife of the Month Club wouldn't necessarily have to follow a theme like the Pro Plus tends to do most of the time, if it's warranted. You know, sometimes that's hard to do. You know, let's just say like a super obscure theme, like, I don't know, fire making. I don't know. That's probably a bad example, but
the fishing one.
Fishing box. Yeah, there you go. Like, it's kind of weird to find a knife that matches up. So let's like just make it a really cool knife. You know, I think next month's theme is probably one of those where the knife was has absolutely nothing to do with the theme. So, but anyhow, for the sake of keeping it strictly, a blade that you're going to get every month that doesn't necessarily have to do with the whole run-of-the-mill BattlBox theme, and taking back Knife of the Month Club as our quintessential like keynote product. I'm thinking about doing that, right?
Wow.
And then something else I was thinking about doing, and again, just trying to open up maybe some conversation and some feedback on the forum. Instead of making a post, maybe some people can start talking about it. But having maybe kind of a VIP club of sorts where maybe paying like let's just call it, I'm off the top of my head, I'm totally spitballing. We got to run the numbers and make sure we're not going to lose money on it. But the size of these boxes cost us a lot to ship, right? Especially going from Georgia to California or Washington or whatever. Like the further they are from the hub, the more it costs us to ship, right? So some of those boxes cost us $18 a pop, sometimes more. That's not too hard to figure out, but it still ends up being cheaper than if you weigh that box and take the size specifications and run a quote on trying to get that box from point A to point B. I think you'll find that our shipping is actually pretty fair. It's actually probably really good. But going back to the point, like let's call it VIP club, potentially $69 a year or something like that puts you at the front of the line for shipping, and also get you back into the free shipping that we originally had. So in essence, sort of like an Amazon Prime for BattlBox or something. Right. So anyhow, just some ideas we're talking about. A lot of people are that passionate about getting their box first. Had a couple conversations about that today, and they were like, yeah, we'd actually be willing to pay more to get ours shipped first for various reasons. And I'm like,
right,
trying to figure out how that makes sense for us. And as a valued VIP member, with that one-time fee or annual fee or whatever, that would make more sense for us to have to, it costs money to do that and segment out those subscribers, right? So,
yeah, I get what you're saying. That's an interesting concept, shipping first. Hey, I have a side question. Brandon, are you like really fucking tired right now or what? Like I can just see your eyes.
I've been up since 5:30 this morning, and it's been a long day, but I'm good. I'm enjoying.
Well, thank you so much. Like for me personally, and I know from everybody else for hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And thank you, Dan, for.
Here's the thing.
It's a good excuse to drink some delicious Weller.
Hey, look what I got. I'm almost done. A little Four Roses from your side of the country.
This stuff, Weller's, is so hard to find, man. Like it's some of the best freaking stuff for like $18 a bottle is all it is. But it's yeah, dude. But it's delicious. But it's off the shelf every time I go in. So whenever I can get my hands on it, I grab a bottle.
Yeah. So
bourbon or is it whiskey?
Weller.
People on here like, are you high? Are you?
Weller's is just Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So it's
bourbon. It's
bourbon. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. A friend of mine who lives out in Tennessee clued me into this stuff. And, being out in California, I don't get access to some of the I guess you would call them micro brews in a way of whiskeys or bourbons.
Yeah.
That you guys on the East Coast, close to Tennessee and Kentucky and all that stuff get. But, I make do with a little bit of Four Roses and some Angel's Envy and some stuff like that. So.
If you can find lead slingers out there, you got to send us some, because we can't find that shit anywhere around. Lead slingers is the whiskey from our buddies over at Article 15, Matt Best and
oh yeah, okay,
and all those guys. So that's their branded whiskey that flies off the shelves everywhere it lands. And we I think we have some distributors for it in Georgia, but we don't have anybody here that carries it. I keep trying to get my local liquor store guy. He's the Indian dude. I've known him forever. You know, it's funny. He's got this redneck accent. You don't expect him to
Are you freaking like me?
Yeah, you walk in and he's like, "Hey, Bo, what you doing, man?" And it's funnier than hell. You know, I can't ever remember his name. I just call him Abo. You know, but I was asking him to pick me up. You know, start ordering lead slingers or whatever. I thought he was going to, and he never did. So,
well, here, make me a deal. If I can find lead slingers somewhere, I'll buy one for me, two for you guys, one of each. Sweet. You gotta buy some of that stuff, that Weller, and we'll do a swap.
I'll send you some Wellers for sure. I gotta find it.
Fist bump.
Bam. Bam.
Oh, it's official.
It's official.
All right, there you go.
No, we just fist bump.
Not pink. No pinkies.
That's
out. That's not cool anymore.
Yeah. What? Damn. So hey, how about we've talked quite a bit about some stuff. I know there are probably some folks in the chat right now. We have 70 viewers. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody. But I'm sure there are some questions that folks in the chat would love to ask. So let's let the chat catch up a little bit, and then we can ask let some of them ask some questions and go from there. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of spitball if you want me to about some things you'd asked me earlier while you're waiting on that, unless you have something.
Quick question. Everybody was super amped about the Tops Knife Cub that came in the, what was that, 3 or 4 boxes ago?
I think it was
Bushcraft box, right?
22? Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question about the Skull Crusher from Tops. So my question is that knife ever going to make an appearance? But my main question is, will we ever see another Tops knives in a box?
There's nothing necessarily like in the works right now with Tops. I mean, right now, we're a little bit behind, to be quite honest, just because of everything that's been going on with, just trying to catch up with everything, man. We always seem to be kind of behind the 8. The Skull Crusher, probably, I mean, it's showing $310 on Topps website. That doesn't sound like it'd be something we'd ever be able to include, but that's the great thing about the potential for the Knife of the Month Club standalone on its own.
Yeah, good point.
Is that if we do that, and let's just say like we end up at a $60, $100, and like a $200 version of that, I could see that falling in the $200 Knife of the Month Club level at $310. I think that we could make that work, and still, the subscribers would be able to get a deal on it. Or just from first glance, what I'm looking at here, I'd have to go in and compare, other online prices. We try to make sure that we're providing our subscribers with a better deal than you can get on Amazon, Knife Center, Blade HQ, all of the above. That's part of what keeps them interested, right? So I could see something like that being included in a top tier, standalone.
Okay, cool.
But we get that off the ground first,
Right. So do your vendors, or I don't know if you'd call them vendors, but like people like Olight or CRKT, do they see or recognize the benefit of putting an item in your box? Because I'll tell you one thing, like I've gotten a few items from subscription boxes from Olight now, and I am 100% total fan, and I will stand up at the rooftop and just sing the praises of Olight because their shit is good. Same with CRKT and a few other knife makers. Do they see the benefit of putting an item in your box?
Oh yeah, 100%, man. I mean, there's very long, drawn out conversations. They're a lot shorter now that we have relationships, of course, because after doing it once, they typically are like, dying to do it again, and they start sending us stuff that's, you know, first release stuff, you know, because they do see the benefit in that, right? So I would say, like, thanks to all the Pro Plus subscribers, like, BattlBox is a topic of conversation at most of the large knife manufacturers across the U.S. for sure. They've, you know, they've definitely taken notice of the size of the orders, and, you know, the marketing that they're able to get out of it from, again, the social influencer network that we use, including yourself. You know, it really is just you know, the subscription model is just such a new way of doing business, right? And so, you know, when I talk to the vendors, you know, especially like ones that have never heard of us or whatever, you know, I like to, as cheesy as it sounds, I kind of like to call it like a win-win-win scenario, right? Where, you know, they get a lot of exposure due to you know, our obvious reach that we've amassed over the past 2 years, right? They get to sell, you know, a large volume of either stock or whatever the case may be, production runs. Our customers, like, you know, get excited about the products because it's, you know, either want list, wish list stuff, or shit that they haven't ever seen before that they still get like excited about, right? You know, I remember seeing a couple of your videos that just had me rolling because you were like just so giddy like a little kid. I've even made comments on it, you know, because you're like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, no way. You know,
I gotta be honest, when something hits me that I think is awesome, like, I'm not gonna hide it. And when something hits me that I think is less than awesome, I'm gonna take a fucking axe to it. You know what I mean?
Well, the reactions are awesome, you know, we hope that it's all, you know, we hope that they're all great products, you know. Where we sit, you know, we still have to be profitable to continue to do business, and you know, not everything is going to be like I said, gold bars, but we hope that it all makes sense with the theme, and at the very least everybody can find a use for the item, right? So and if not, you know, like I said, a lot of people on the forums mentioned, hey, it makes for great gifts come Christmas time, right? So
yeah, you know, and one thing that people don't take advantage of enough, and shout out again to battleboxforum.com, and thank you guys for you know, providing that for us and setting that up, because you know, it's an expense, right? But thank you guys for doing that. There's a trade thread, and people that don't like stuff that they get can totally put it up on a trade thread and get stuff back that they want. You know, there were people that didn't like the fishing box, which I think they're fucking crazy for not liking the fishing box, because I loved it, you know. But
I think freaking super crazy that you ended up being the winner of that giveaway that month. I can't believe that and that was not calculated as much as people may think, but it was totally random. Like John drew the winner for that, and he was like, Chris Sartain? That sounds familiar. He's like, do you know who that is? And I was like, oh no, let me look. I think I want to say that's the Out West with Chris guy.
Well, thanks for giving out my last name to everybody. Everybody knows who I am now.
Sorry. But
no, it's all good.
I've got a lot more followers than you. And
I know you do.
I'm just messing with you. But I don't even know if I do, actually. Might have been a false statement. But yeah, so, you know, yeah, when you won that, I was like, dude, that's so like crazy, because I think he's a pretty big like fisherman, right?
Right.
And then so I kind of started looking at going back to some of your previous videos or whatever, being, you know, your kayak fishing videos, where I was like, dude, that couldn't have gone to like a better dude. You know,
you know what, dude? I love that kayak. And when I got it, I was like, oh, I'm calling bullshit that this is random, but I'll take it. You know what I mean?
It was totally random. They're all totally random, man. And it was just so strange to me that like the kayak fisherman guy got the kayak. Like,
yeah, I love it. I use it all the damn time. And I don't know, man. I mean, that kayak, that company that makes that kayak, Feel Free.
Yeah.
Solid company. You guys have kayaked in those kayaks before too, right?
Yeah, I have one. Like my only gripe with it is like the weight of it, because it's just so hard to move. I think I can't remember if I have the same one, but it's like 13.5 feet long.
Oh, it's a boat, man. That thing is huge.
I don't have one, but I take his when I'm at the farm.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. I'm
too big to fit in the other ones that he's got.
You know, pulling out those bass, standing on that kayak. You know, it's freaking awesome.
I sink the other ones that he has, so I have to use that one.
The accessory rails and stuff like that for it. I hadn't had a chance to really like go all out and try to deck it out because I haven't. I
got to show Shane Crum something. He don't think I got a Spartan helmet tattoo.
Oh, that's pretty sweet, man.
So there's proof, Shane.
So I saw, you know, I guess we can let out the teaser, you know, since they've been talking about it on the forum all day or whatever since the podcast aired this morning and stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think we are going to do a, you know, a BattlBox Spartan helmet, pube. What do you call it? What was it? A pube stencil. That's what it was. Hate to let the cat out of the bag, man.
Oh, damn.
It's all about manscaping. If we can promote, you know, manscaping and get our BattlBox logo in the nether regions, then I'm all for it.
So no lightning bolts, but just the Spartan, right?
Just the Spartan helmet. Yeah, you got to talk to Steve about lightning bolts. I'm still not really sure how to pull them off. He probably thought they looked like. Steve probably can't even find his own Peter. It's they probably look like not lightning bolts to him, but it was really like Sanskrit or some shit, you know. It's like like writing with your left hand or some shit, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that's too much.
Hard to follow up on.
I don't have words to say. You know, we've got a couple more minutes left. I was planning on an hour, but
I got all the time you need, man.
We ain't going nowhere.
We're here, man. Whatever.
I can chat with you guys like who was I talking to the other day? I think it was Gray Fox from Sly Fox Tactical. And I think it was him. You are the type of guys that like I could just sit down, have a beer with or some bourbon and just sit and chat at a bar for like, you know, a couple hours. You know what I mean? Like just people that are.
I love to do that, man. Like just
like-minded people, you know?
Yeah. Well, even, you know, I was at a bar in Milledgeville. I had to stay over there a couple weeks ago or whatever. And I actually love, you know, it's weird for me. Like I kind of want to move out to the farm, which is 30 miles outside of town, because there are times where I just want to get away from it all and not be around people at all. But because I come from being a very sociable person, you know, I was at the bar a couple weeks ago or whatever, and I was eating dinner, and there's just the strangest. Not strange in a bad way. There was a fella sitting next to me, and man, I ended up like neither one of us knew each other. We came from very different backgrounds or whatever, but I just enjoyed conversing and talking with him for hours, man, until we kind of got kicked out. You know, we were the only ones there at the time, you know, and it's great to just sit back and just, you know, just kind of see where people come from, all walks of life, you know, and it's just, it's humbling, man, to just be able to talk with people on a real level. And, you know, we're not, we've said it several times, you know, like we're not here to pretend like we're doing stuff that we're not doing, and we're not blowing smoke up people's ass. We're not just sending these boxes out to try to make you know, some money and turn a quick buck kind of thing. You know, like we're in it for the long haul. You know, we're trying to do. I'm hoping like hell we can try to figure out soon how to really start doing these annual or semi-annual courses, survival schools.
Cool. That's cool.
That we can host, and you know, almost kind of like an adult Boy Scouts, where you know everybody gets that kind of a patch for being a part of it, and kind of add that to their collection and say, yeah, you know, I attended you know, the first BattlBox, shooting course or whatever, or the BattlBox bushcraft course or whatever. And then, you know, of course, we'll of course host it, but have experts in the field come out and do training for probably a good long weekend, Friday, Saturday, half day Sunday kind of deal is what we have in mind.
That's cool, man. Like, oh, I wish you guys were over on the West Coast. And I know California is often frowned upon because its politics suck ass. But man, do you guys ever have any plans on coming out here to do any shows or anything? I mean, it's a huge market, right?
So talking about doing the survival courses, we actually were hoping to, let's just say we figure out how to do 3 a year minimum. Instead of hosting them all in Georgia, we'd actually like to spread them out, in various spots across the U.S. so that people can attend or at least be within a closer range for flights or driving distance or a quick motorcycle ride or whatever the case may be,
Right.
So, outside of coming to Salt Lake City a couple times a year for things in relation to Veterans Business Alliance, which is, a small group that we're kind of, I guess in a sense, founding members of at the very least. And kind of hanging with our buddies at Black Rifle and Ready Man. Obviously we're huge fans of Jeff Kirkham, and he's just a great wealth of knowledge.
That dude
he's a badass.
So wait, can I interrupt?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
No.
Jeff Kirkham, he created the Rats Tourniquet, right?
He did.
Right. And he's one of the folks with Ready Man, right?
He's the president of Ready Man, yes.
Okay. And you guys obviously know that I have not always been the fondest of some of the Ready Man stuff, right?
Fair enough.
Okay. So the Rats Tourniquet, I think, is it's awesome. The Ready Man subscription service, what's the deal there? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to ask.
Have you gone inside of the Plan to Survive at all?
Yes.
And
you didn't go.
Did you fill out the information and all?
Yeah, I did.
Really? You didn't find that kind of like Brandon was kind of saying, like,
I love it.
You didn't find that kind of enlightening as far as like your preps go and stuff like that?
Somewhat. I did, yeah. But the $10 service, okay, that's the $20 service, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the $10 service, and I've heard that they've teamed up with Funker, and I'm a huge fan of Funker, okay? So I guess where I'm at with this is I need to go log in and revisit all of that stuff. But, when I first logged in, it was all stuff that was already free. It was already all videos on YouTube, especially for the $10 version, that I just was kind of like, well, what the fuck's the point? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not costing the customer, the BattlBox customer, any money.
Okay, why is there the valuation? You know what I mean?
Well, look, Chris, here's the deal. Like, if my grandfather dies today and he gives me a fully restored 1978 CJ7 Jeep for free, that doesn't mean that the Jeep has literally no value, correct?
Good point. I agree 100%. Yep.
That's like literally my only stance on it, is like, just because it's free doesn't mean that it doesn't add value to the box. Whatever, it's only $10, right? Like I said, it's not taking anything away. Or $20 in
it's not taking place
level.
Of anything.
It's not replacing anything, because it's just something that we've worked out internally with them. I mean, we're good friends with those guys. It's not something that's a charge. It's not taking the place of anything. It's just
so you guys don't pay them. So I guess from a consumer standpoint, my concern would be that you're paying some sort of fee, right? And that's less stuff that's going to go into a basic or advanced box, or less stuff that's going to go into a Pro or a Pro Plus box. And from my point of view, I would say nix that whole thing and just put $10 or $20 worth of gear back into the boxes.
I mean, does it look to you like the quality of the gear is they dropped off from before we did the Ready-Man subscription?
Not at all. No, it does not. I'm just trying to ask the question that the common guy would ask, right? And that's me. I'm the common guy on YouTube. I'm not some fancy, like, I'm not like a professional YouTuber or anything like that. I'm just the common guy, right? So the common guy is wondering, what is something being replaced with a $10 subscription or the $20 subscription? Is something not getting into the box that would normally be in there if there wasn't that relationship?
So I see the point that you're making, and that's why I guess we've said several times and tried to, you know, for whatever reason, everybody tends to keep combating like what we're saying. It is not replacing anything in the box. Like that's all there is to it. Like, we have a relationship with those guys. We film, you know, just like the 60-second survival content stuff. I mean, we do stuff together. I mean, we work in tandem. You know, we just jive, you know, just kind of like we're doing here. We have a lot in common. We're able to do a lot of cool things together for the greater good of this kind of survival community. And, you know, being able to kind of lean on those guys, Jeff Kirkham specifically as a 28-year veteran, we value him as a resource, and he values BattlBox as an ally, as a company. You know, obviously we've purchased Ready-Man products from them, and I continue to stand by the reason why I personally like the Ready-Man cards and being able to carry them on flights when I'm stripped of everything else that is a comfort item for me, from knives to tactical pens or whatever the case may be. You know, yeah, it's certainly, I think, Chris, at one point in time, like, let's just say at one point in time back in the day, like the Ready-Man cards had like a $24 a piece value or something like that. And so now that they've come down, you know, on their own accord, into like a much more manageable, like $10 or $12, depending on what it is, and what you know, what the gauge of the steel is and stuff like that. I think it's a great intuitive product to have on your person. Look, the lockpick card I've used many times. You know,
really?
Yes. I mean, matter of fact, I have to get more of them from the warehouse on like a monthly basis. I'm notorious for losing keys.
And he's like addicted to figuring out if he can pick something. I mean, every time I turn around, he's over there. I'm like, what? He likes to, I mean, he seriously wants to be like a professional lock picker.
Well, it's something that's always intrigued me, you know, like MacGyver was always like one of those cool, like, idols of mine, I think, growing up, you know. So I think I kind of like maybe the fact that that's part of, for me, that's maybe why I like those cards. It's a little wallet-sized card that you can always have with you or whatever. And of course, I mean, I've helped develop some of those cards, so maybe I have a little bit of a different perspective on why I think those things are useful. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's not, you know, it's one item in the basic box. It's never going to be like a big pro item or anything like that, obviously. So, you know, I think we've kind of blown our wad with the Ready-Man. So I don't know if there's anything else out there. I mean, as they come out with something new, we'll certainly try it out and see if the customers like it, you know. I don't know.
So this is a good conversation, and I'm gonna go log back in, and I'm gonna go give it a second chance to the subscription.
Here's the key to the Ready-Man subscription, okay?
Okay.
Seriously, you've got to dedicate time to dig into it. That's it. If you get into the frame of mind of this, like my first thing is, I thought I was a pretty well prepared guy. I got into that and realized I wasn't. So it struck a nerve with me. And, you know, it's kind of like scratching the itch, right? I mean, you gotta go after it. So you've got to dedicate some time to go into it, look at what it is that you need to improve on, and look at the things that you want to improve on. and go after those things. Make it a goal. Say, okay, this month I want to achieve this and this on my Ready Man subscription. And that's the thing. It's not saying you in particular or anybody else in particular, but people are lazy these days. Okay, they want things done for them. They want things to be easy for them. Well, the Ready Man subscription in part takes that from you and shakes it in your face and says, you've got to do something.
Well, that's the $20 subscription level, right?
Right. You got to do this, or it's just going to sit here and not do anything at all. So that's the key to it. Now, if you get in it and dig into it, it's pretty freaking slick. I mean, it really is.
Okay, okay.
They presented.
Brandon, can you do like, because I started to record a like a screenshot type video of what that all entailed, the basic level and the $20 level. And I started to record it and I was like, you know what, this is all right, but man, I just lost interest. Can you do it on your channel to where you can show me, the average guy, that's what I am, that this is something that I want to be involved with?
So let's just say, let's talk about, did you watch the news report this week with Dan Bongino, which is the ex Secret Service agent, basically saying that our current president, President Trump, is unsafe in the White House?
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't see the broadcast or anything.
So Bongino's a pretty cool, badass guy. I mean, he served both the Bush administration and also the Obama administration, and he's very vocal about his opinions on each or whatever. And I kind of dig the guy, but so it's kind of interesting to see that come out this week. But anyhow, let's just say that for you, that incites a question as far as I don't know that national security is necessarily his forte, but I guarantee you he can provide some great insight and intel behind the minds of the security contracting type job, I would say. So as if being a part of that community gives you access to, I don't think everybody realizes how smart and how valuable Jeff Kirkham really is. And I just so happen to know.
No, I'm not going to doubt that. I don't doubt that. But I look at these cards, the little cards, and I really question whether somebody's life has ever been saved by the fishing card or whatever it is. Maybe the lockpick card, the medical card, maybe, you know what I mean? But I really question that type of thing. And I'm just being totally honest with you guys. I don't doubt that the rats tourniquet is a great idea. That is a great idea. I have 2 of them. I'm proud to have 2 of them. I carry them with me when I'm out in the forest, when I'm at the gun range, all of that stuff. That is awesome. But the little cards convince me. That's all I'm asking. You know what I mean? Somebody convince me that those things are worth putting into my wallet right now.
I mean, is there valid proof that those have saved anybody's life? Probably not. I think that most of everything that you're going to get in the BattlBox, is a great concept. Whether somebody has actually had it on their person at the very moment that their plane has gone down in the middle of Alaska is probably pretty slim. But
right.
Our goal, honestly, is to kind of get people to be prepared, right? My tagline. Shit, that flew across the room. My tagline on my forum handle, of course, is preparing the world, 1 month at a time, right? And so that's really all we can ask, is to try to provide products to the customers that get them thinking about what they should be preparing. At the very least, giving them good enough products that they can add to their stash to be prepared for those types of scenarios. And Yeah, I don't know that my goal is to convince you that you like the Ready Man cards. Some people like them, some people hate them, man. It is what it is.
You're right. You're right. I know. And that's how it is with any item in a box, right? Like,
that's how it is, man. Yeah, I mean,
I get it. I get it 100%. So I'm just gonna go with you guys. Dan, like, this is a man-to-man conversation. I'm gonna like drop my whole feud with Ready Man, I guess you'd call it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll log back onto the website. I'll give it 100% and see what happens of it, and keep an open mind for future products from those guys.
Being, I guess as far as the basic subscription goes, just kind of opens up like you being able to have a one-to-one line of communication with not just Jeff, but there's a bunch of other guys over there or whatever. He just happens to be the one with the most notoriety or whatever. And if you're ever happen to have the privilege of being in the same room with him, he definitely commands, takes control of the room. You're engaged with listening to what he's talking about because it's such valuable information. I hate to keep harping on that. I mean, it's just,
you know what? I don't doubt that at all. Like, I don't doubt that. Like, I think that guy is like, I can't stress how much I don't doubt that what you are saying. Oh man, I don't even know how to say this right, but like, I get it. I get that guy is one badass motherfucker, right? And way more badass than me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, here's the thing. Let me just paint a picture. And I know what you mean, Chris, but just paint a picture of Jeff for the people that are listening. The stuff we see in movies where we go, oh my God, like that, like the stuff in movies that we think, I wonder if that's if that kind of stuff really happened. That's Jeff. Like, no joke, that dude, like, what did Rory tell us? He said that if Tyrannosaurus Rex, Q, and James Bond had a baby, it'd be Jeff. I mean, he's that guy, and but he is a down to earth dude, no different than me and Daniel sitting right here in front of you. And he's that kind of guy that when you leave, you're like, wow, I learned something from that dude. I mean, he's that guy, like when he walks into a room with some of the baddest special forces dudes in the freaking world, everybody goes, oh, that's Jeff.
Yeah. I mean, and hell, Evan's the same way.
Evan's the same way. But
Evan's a great guy, and he's kind of the more humorous one of the two or whatever. They've been best friends for years, and everybody knows Evan, of course, from Black Rifle, and they're man, we're just glad to honestly be able to be a part of some of the stuff that especially Black Rifle's been able to do, and we're just glad to say that we're friends with those guys. And so when we were at the Veterans Business Alliance meeting out in Salt Lake City, they presented us with this Plan to Survive thing, and honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, dude, this is like the Facebook of the survival world. Like, this is cool because not only does it show you and kind of guide you on what you're missing, what your preps need to be, but it gets you in contact with people in your area that can help you with places that you lack, right? And so that community doesn't exist unless people use it, just like Facebook, right? Like, there's nobody, if there's nobody on Facebook, then who sees your posts? Kind of like, does a bear shit in the woods, right?
Right, so, totally. I get it. And my whole thing is I log on, I look at their forum, and I think this is so, oh man. The other box that dropped the vowel, like, it's equal to their forum. You know what I mean? Like, there's not that much activity. You go look at your forum, and there is so much freaking activity.
So our goal, Chris, was actually to help kind of perpetuate that by bringing our great members from our forum and kind of boosting that. I mean, I'm sure that they recognize that, and hell, reach out to them if you want to and say, hey, this is all.
Here's what I'll do. I'll go get on their forum and I'll post something. I'm going to keep an open mind, and that's all I can do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, well, again, you know, it's not taking anything away from what's going to go in the battle box. I think we've proven, or at least I hope that we have, that
you guys totally,
we're trying to give you guys a resource that we think holds a lot of value if you do your work in using it. And
okay.
It's nothing's being replaced. We're not trying to shove anything down anybody's throat. It's a resource from some people that we believe are the freaking
baddest
dudes on walking the face of the earth right now.
Okay. Yeah, I get it 100%. I think, you know, I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to,
as far as like keeping the bar high, man, like that was something we thought that if we could keep that exclusive to BattlBox, where, you know, our competitors try to keep, you know, kind of encroaching on our space. Like, we just thought that was an added value, that if we could keep it synonymous and keep it in-house, where some people do see the value in it, then why not, right? Like, that was kind of our thought process on it. You know, it kind of sucks that, you know, some people have you know, aren't getting it or aren't utilizing it the way that we had hoped. I honestly had high hopes that they would be like super pumped about this Plan to Survive app as a place to kind of, you know, kind of warehouse their preps and kind of see where they lack and see where they're excelling. And again, once you get into the Plan to Survive, you know, I understand, like, the pitch wasn't really to add the Ready Man Basic, like, to the basic and the advanced customers. Like, that wasn't really the whole purpose. Like, I saw the Plan to Survive app and I wanted our customers to have it, right? But
you know what? Like, oh man, the Plan to Survive app is pretty damn cool. I'll just admit it right off the bat. It's the $10 subscription that initially I looked at it and I'm like, I can already see all of these freaking YouTube videos for free on YouTube. Like, I can. And I don't know if you can still sell the partnerships with Funker, because Funker's freaking badass. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big fan of Funker Tactical.
Yeah, I know those guys well, as well. Yeah,
nice pen right there.
Yeah, that's a badass pen. Yeah, you know,
Brandon,
let's talk about that pen. Like, I think a lot of people.
Did you really design that pen, Dan?
Yes, I did, and I think maybe I didn't portray that enough, maybe in the mission card when we shipped this. But it's not just like a branded BattlBox pin that was just picked up somewhere or whatever. Like, we
a BattlBox pin
designed and made this, and I think people just thought it was like something we slapped our logo on. But you will not find this pin anywhere else in the world. So I thought that was kind of cool. I guess some people didn't maybe get that. So
touche.
I like a good tactical pen. What can I say? Hey, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna move on from the Ready Man. Everybody that's in the chat wants to move on from Ready Man. Let's do. We're way over time. This thing is. I planned for an hour. We're already at an hour and 24 minutes. I've had a few too many of these.
That's right. Yeah, your face is getting red there.
I know it is.
Everybody was wondering about me. Now they're wondering about you.
I know. First they were thinking you were high, and now they're thinking Chris is lit.
I'm just very sleep deprived right now.
All right, so let's open it up for questions.
Yeah, let's talk to some people.
2 minutes, and the answers, Dan, need to be quick.
Okay, hey, let me
like a lightning round.
If you don't mind, let me go grab a charger for this laptop real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh no, it's just me. What's up, y'all?
What's up, y'all? Hey, how's the move going? Are you totally moved in, Brandon, or what's up?
Okay. So my family's here now. We're renting a trailer down by the river.
No shit, really?
Yeah. So you know, kids are in school, everything's going good. Actually closed on my property this morning.
Congratulations, man. Happy for you.
It's pretty freaking cool, man. I'm pretty excited about it. That's one reason why I was up all night doing financial stuff and that's why I'm so tired. But so yeah, so I closed on my land today and hope to be breaking ground to build my house before the end of the month. So hopefully by we're plugging up here, by the fall we'll be moved into our home and everything. So.
Congratulations, man. Like that makes me happy. Truthfully, I'm happy for you and for your family. Breaking ground, building your own thing. Like, I'm just guessing you had input on the design of your house. That's gotta be awesome.
Yeah, it's you know, like you said earlier when we were talking about how you appreciated me being on here and hanging out and everything. I mean, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the BattlBox subscribers.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't be. It's been a great ride, and you know, the YouTube channel grew and went well, and you know, Daniel and I became friends, and now, you know, I'm an employee here, and it, I don't know, you know, I'm going to start doing a series eventually here soon about how, you know, how BattlBox has affected people's lives.
Right.
We get emails on occasion, you know, hey man, you know, ever since I started getting BattlBox, I got back in the outdoors. My kids are learning things, you know.
I love seeing those emails where they're like,
those are great. Those are awesome.
So if you have a story, those of you that are watching and listening, whatever, if you have a story, a true story, you know, don't send some made up crap, you know, I mean, a true story of how BattlBox may have opened your eyes to something in your life, or changed your life, or made your family life a little better, and got you outdoors again, or whatever. You know, we want to hear those things. And I'm going to start picking some of these stories, and we're going to come visit you and hang out. And I want to get your story on film, and I want to share it with people on YouTube. So that's something that I'm going to start doing. Again, I'm here because of the BattlBox subscriber and the YouTube fans out there, and thank you. I mean, because 6 months ago I was turning wrenches. Did that for 23 years. And don't get me wrong.
Hey, dude, the air conditioning's fixed.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not knocking that at all, and I haven't arrived. But I'm doing what I love to do now. And
that's awesome, man. Congratulations. You know, as a small channel, and I'm nothing but a small channel.
Dude, I got a small channel. I mean, you know, I ain't nobody. I'm a redneck from North Carolina, man. That just that loves this stuff, man.
I'm a redneck from Washington State.
Never heard that.
So you know, if I could be inspirational for a moment, is go after your dreams, do what you love to do, and the heck with the people that don't like what you do. And if anybody tells you that you can't do it, show them you can, and you know, pull up your bootstraps and be a man and do what you want to do. And if you do that, it will happen. It may not happen on your time, but it'll happen. You know?
Yeah. My brother and I were talking about, my brother's birthday was this weekend or whatever, and we were kind of talking about that. You know, he lives out that way as well, and you know, I think that he's pretty successful in his own right. I mean, we're polar opposites. I mean, he's tatted up from top to bottom. He's a jeweler. He's a piercer. Like, I think he pierced some stuff on Miley Cyrus and stuff. I mean, he does pretty well for himself. But you know, it's funny. You know, I think a lot of people had the misconception that, you know, maybe we were spoon fed, and like, you know, we just grew up in this affluent family or whatever. You know, I mean, we lived in apartments for years. My mom was a single mother, you know, trying to get by. And, you know, I not trying to harp on, like, you know, having a bad childhood or nothing like that. I mean, I had a great childhood, but we certainly didn't grow up like with a lot of money and stuff like that. I mean, this was just,
man, I never had that impression of either one of you. You know what I mean? Never.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about you guys in particular. I think maybe just, you know, sometimes we come across that in general, where people, I think, just maybe think that a lot of this was handed to us, and kind of piggybacking off of what Brandon was saying is, it's like, man, this started just simply an idea in my underwear, like in January, you know, 2 years ago or whatever. And I just started fleshing this out. like during a slow period of time during another business that I had, strictly out of a want for these kind of things myself, and you know, seeing a void in a market that you know, there was nothing that pertained to my interest, right? And out of that became BattlBox. You know, in a perfect world, it was like the thought process was like, how cool would it be if I could like spend X amount of dollars a month and get like a cool firearm, right? Which is how it kind of started. And then it was like, well, that's not possible for legal purposes. So like, what's next? Like, so I really like knives. So let's start there. And so you know, yeah. So we started. I started kind of deconstructing this idea and going, you know, and working backwards, going, okay, well, you know, knives are expensive, so you know, not everybody can afford that level. So how do we get those people involved in some way? BattlBox, you know, and I've got all the original paper, you know, lined papers where I was hashing out these ideas and trying to think of even things like the name of the company, right? Like, you know, yeah, it just started as an idea and just progressed from there. And I think maybe we just hit the market at the right time because of there being a void and such a want in the outdoor survival, EDC, and tactical world, and just timing was what it was. And you know, when I first brought the team together, that's something else I'd like to say, I guess, while I kind of have the opportunity or whatever.
Go for it, man.
I can't do any of this shit all by myself, of course, right? And so something I realized very early on was, you know, to have a successful business and have something as great as what we've achieved with BattlBox, like you have to create a great core group and a great team around you, right? And so when I first brought those core people in, you know, one of the first meetings that we had, if not the first meeting, was centered around like, hey, look, if we're going to do this and everybody's committed, we're either going to go big or we're going to go home. Well, this isn't going to be a half-assed attempt at, you know, just trying to make a couple bucks or whatever, right? Like that wasn't ever like the main topic of conversation. It was like, we want to be the biggest, we want to be the best, and we want to provide our customers with the absolute best that, you know, their money can provide, right? And so
from the average guy that's looked at tons of different subscription boxes, you guys have done it. You know what I mean? Like you are the cream de la creme of subscription boxes for guys, especially guys who love the outdoors, survival. Shit, I'm getting drunk, man. What the fuck?
Look at him.
Look at me. I'm totally getting drunk. So we're like a half an hour over where I plan to be for this live stream. And we got to wrap it up, or else I'm going to say a bunch of stupid shit. It's going to happen. So we got to continue this like in a month or something. I don't know when, but we got to continue this conversation. I can't do it right now because I'm lit. I've been drinking 4 Roses and I am empty.
shit.
I don't know. Thank you both, Brandon, Dan. Thank you guys for coming on to the channel, chatting with everybody. I know there are questions left unanswered from the comment section.
My best answer.
You got to wrap it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'll put on the forum. I'll make a new thread of where to send your stories.
Yes. Yes.
So we don't have to go any further here, but go to the forum. If you're not on the forum, you need to get on the forum and look for a thread here in a few minutes where you'll be directed where to send your stories to me. All right?
Yeah. That's awesome. I greatly appreciate both of you coming on tonight. I know it's what, 9:30? 9:30?
That's right.
9:30 your guys' time. You should be at home with your families. I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight, chatting with everybody from the forums, everybody from the internets, from YouTubes, and with me in person. I greatly appreciate it.
We enjoyed it.
I don't know what else to say.
We'll do it again.
Let's do it again. Yeah, let's do it.
Next time, are you gonna like smoke a spliff at the same time?
I'm not high right now. Everybody thought Brandon was high. I'm not high. I haven't smoked pot for like 5 years, man.
That was very specific. Yeah.
It's been a while. You know what I mean?
All right, brother.
Nice.
Well, we appreciate you having us on, and we'll see you next time.
Let's do it. All right, next time. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching tonight. If you have anything you want to add to the conversation, you can always do so below the comments. Thanks for getting out west with Chris. Thanks for getting out somewhere with BattlBox.
Getting out east.
All right.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.
Everybody. Thank you.
See ya.